Hello. You've been first 3 days in a row, although I didn't see you in the rest of the stream yesterday. You said hello and then left. I'm just uploading some stuff. Do, do, do. How is everybody? It's Friday. Okay. Yeah, I know I came on a little bit early. I'm just uploading stuff on here. That lady again. Ha ha ha. I'm doing wonder. Let me back up a little bit. Jeez Louise. Ooh. I'm doing really good. Yesterday I meant to boycott Starbucks because I don't like them. But where I am, obviously you guys see it all the time. My internet, it's just bad internet out here. We're just out in the country. Even when you go to places with that are supposed to have really good Wi-Fi, it's just not the case. So I went to Starbucks and I was there for like 2 hours yesterday doing some editing. And I feel like if I'm there, I have to order something. So I was like, I'm going to be cheesy and order a pumpkin spice latte. So I ordered a pumpkin spice latte. I wasn't even really drinking it. And I had to get up to move and I dropped the entire pumpkin spice latte. Thankfully, it was just a tall, it wasn't a grande. The entire thing went all over the floor, the whole thing. And I was so embarrassed that I didn't want to tell the staff. So I just kept, I just got the little napkins out of the napkin dispenser and cleaned it up that way. It was so embarrassing. No one helped. Everyone was just looking. And I had to make about, I don't know, a few hundred trips to the napkin dispenser because they're so tiny. They're just little tiny napkins. All right, what time is it? Okay. I'm uploading more videos. Wait, is it Thursday? You're right. Hi, Danielle. OMG. I can't even change the name of it now. I'll have to do it after. You know what? That's actually good news. I'm so glad it's not Friday. I wasn't ready for the week to be over. That is so funny. Oh, I can't even change the title now. When you don't know you have a real job. Oh, when you know you don't have a real job. That's what happens, folks. Or you're not in school anymore. Remember at school, you would always have to write your papers, and every paper you always had to put, at least in my school, we had to put our name, the date. You guys. Okay, well, after this post, I'm going to change it. In the meantime, all of you can just laugh at me. uh, video file. Okay, I'm just uploading a few more things. You got that. This one's really good.
I have unanimous consent.
It's Friday in some parts of the world. See? I like the way you think. You're like Jimmy Buffett. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's Friday somewhere. Did you know, actually, hold on, I'm going to look this up for you. This is a really crazy fact. Hold on, we got John Fetterman over here in this corner. We'll see him later. No, excuse me, we're not ready for you yet. And then we got, hold on.
the GOP strategists were all.
Okay, so there is a country, I believe it's Ethiopia. They're actually a few years behind us because they go by a different calendar. Let me see if I can find this. Ethiopia, I believe it's Ethiopia. Okay, so Ethiopia, they go by a different calendar than we do. So their calendar has a 13-month year. So they're actually 7 years behind us. So what year? It's 2023 here. So it would be what, like 2016 there? I always thought that was really interesting. Based upon the ancient Coptic calendar, the Ethiopian calendar is 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar, owing to alternate calculations. So we go by everywhere else except for Ethiopia goes by the Gregorian calendar, which is the 12-month year, but they have a 13-month year. So they're behind us. So that means you're 7 years younger in Ethiopia. Men who don't work equal can't eat, end up homeless. Wait. Sansoni, lucky she can have a sugar. Sugar, what are you talking about? Is it just me, or has the news stopped covering the other war? It kind of almost seems like they did. Or I was always curious because we get so much coverage from Israel, Gaza, so much coverage on the ground. We never really got as much coverage coming out of Ukraine. Like there was a little bit. Well, we're still funding them. We might not be seeing them, but we're definitely still funding them. Will I ever return to Los Angeles? I'm a little more back and forth right now. I'm kind of happy with that. I probably will be visiting very soon, like within the next few months, and I'll stay an extended time, but I don't know for good. It's just crazy there right now. Where I stayed, I went back to the same neighborhood I lived, and it's wild just how different it is. A lot of businesses shut down. Just there's even more homeless people, and a lot of the homeless people, they're even more unhinged. They're just more either just drugged out, the mental illness, and it's scary. It's not that I don't have compassion for those people, but it's very unpredictable. They're unpredictable. Unpredictable. Okay, I might bring Eva on it. She's actually inside right now. She's sleeping. So she might come on in a second. Okay, wait, I had one more. Did I get that one? Hello, Steve. Lovely to have you here. I'm getting started in just a second. I'm missing a video. I don't know if I uploaded it. Do you take your throwing star on the plane? I can't take the ninja star on the plane. I don't even know where it is right now. I will say I accidentally used to take mace on the plane all the time, and they never took it out of my bag. I would forget that it was in my purse, and I would board the plane with mace all the time. But I don't take the ninja star. That thing, no. That thing is so sharp, it actually cuts out of its holder. There's holes in the holder. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah. Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Even Beverly Hills has homeless encampment now. Yeah, that even Beverly Hills has a lot of businesses that have left. It's not as nice as it used to be. And I did see they have a homeless encampment. I stayed mostly in West Hollywood. What I like about West Hollywood is, yes, you still have the homeless problem, but they're not allowed to camp. You can't camp on the sidewalk, so you're not going to see like the tent encampments. You'll just see people sleeping on the sidewalk. But I saw that in Beverly Hills. I still can't believe I really thought it was Friday. That's the clip I wanted. Okay, almost there. Didn't have it. Okay. There it is. One more video, and then I'm getting started. Mm-hmm. Hello from Texas. Okay.
Turning himself in.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Homeless is the new American dream. Hello. All right, thank you for joining. Speaking of the homeless issue, I was just watching a town hall meeting out of Chicago where a lot of the residents are really angry because they are now turning a park essentially into a base camp. They're turning it into a big camp to house migrants, and that's what's happening at least in Chicago right now. They have no room. So these migrants that are being bussed up, they're having to sleep not only just in the police stations, outside. You'll see mattresses and people just sleeping outside at the police station. And some of these people don't have anywhere to go. So it really is like they're coming over the border just to be homeless in our country. So you make a joke about how that's the American dream. It almost is, and it's really scary. I wonder too if you'll start to see some people self-deport after a while, realizing that it's not what they thought it was going to be. Okay, anyway, so the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, somebody posted this video of him. This was from a hearing a while back. I actually watched this, but I can't remember what this lady is, but she is awful. Whenever you watch a hearing with her in it, she is an evil lady.
From Louisiana is recognized.
Okay, so I think, what was this on? I think this might have been a hearing over the border. Self-deport. So people do that sometimes. So this was a hearing way back when. If anyone knows this lady's name, I cannot remember her, but I've watched her in a few different hearings, and she's just a nasty, nasty woman. But he essentially, she's asking for proof or something, so he gives her the paper that she was asking for, and then she goes and just throws it back at him. Wild.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent request.
Gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
Seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter dated January 12, 2021 by Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, where he decries all political violence and calls for an end to that, and asks for respect for all political viewpoints.
Without objection.
Another thing we can examine because he's not here. Very good.
No, you can
Thank
examine
you.
it. It's a document. He's going to
No, examine him.
Oh, so she was trying not to get that entered. He's like, we have it right here. Okay, maybe this wasn't on the border. I can't remember. Here
For what he wrote and the intent behind what he said.
Well, I would
But-
just
okay.
I would just point out That's unanimous consents are for documents, and we got the document right here that he handed to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous
The
consent.
chair now recognizes Ms.
Mr.
Wasserman
Chairman,
Schultz for her
I
5
have a
minutes.
unanimous consent request, Mr. Chairman.
Pardon?
I have a unanimous.
Oh, okay.
She's always like that. Every hearing I watch that she's in, she's like that. Always. Anyway, he did give. I do see some people still have some differing opinions on Mike Johnson. He did give a little bit of a speech, and I thought it was kind of cool. So it's about 2 minutes. So I thought it was a good speech.
Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Tom and Elise. This is an extraordinary team that has been assembled here to serve the American people. Steve Scalise represents so much in our home state of Louisiana. One of the things he truly represents is perseverance and hope. And as he was talking here just a moment ago, I was reminded of Scripture that says suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. What we need in this country is more hope. The people have lost their faith in our institutions. Their faith is at an all-time low. And one of the reasons they've lost it is because the Congress, over the years, has not delivered for the American people well enough. We're in the majority right now. We've gone through a little bit of suffering. We've gone through a little bit of character building. And you know what it's produced? More strength, more perseverance, and a lot of hope. And that's what we're about to deliver to the American people. We're going to speak with clarity and conviction and consistency to the American people. We're going to tell them what we're for, what agenda we are pursuing, and why it is best for every American, why it will give them more liberty, opportunity, and security. We're going to speak to that clearly. We're going to act consistently, and we're going to exhibit two things here, trust and teamwork. And this group will deliver for the American people. I said it in the chamber, and I will say it here. We're going to govern well. And I think the people are going to be very pleased with those results. We're so grateful. I'm so grateful and so humbled to have gotten a unanimous vote on the floor by all of my colleagues here. We went through a lot to get here, but we are ready to govern, and that will begin right away. You've all heard me talk a lot today, and I'm not going to belabor the point because the sun is bright and it's too warm for the fall. But I'll say this. We're going to dispense with all the usual ceremonies and celebrations that traditionally follow a new speakership because we have no time for either one. The American people's business is too urgent in this moment. The hour is late, the crisis is great. In America, we hear you. And we are reporting again, as I said in there, to our duty stations. That will begin in just a few moments. This entire group is going to go back to the House floor, and we are going to pass our resolution in support of the nation of Israel, our closest ally in the Middle East. You're going to see an aggressive schedule in the days and weeks ahead. You're going to see Congress working as hard as it's ever worked, and we are going to deliver for the American people. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank you for being patient with us, and I promise you it'll be worth it. God bless you. God bless you.
I didn't think they would ever have, I didn't think they would ever elect a speaker. Don't get me wrong, it's better they live in the forest rather than living in the city. Huh? I think I missed something there. So I thought it was a decent speech. He's very political. He's a good politician. Siri? No. Siri, did you like Mike Johnson's speech? Siri? Now she's ignoring me. Oh, the homeless. Now she's ignoring me. Fine. Siri? Oh, wait, here we go. Siri, did you like Mike Johnson's speech?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be a good speaker. I honestly, it's funny too because I saw that moment with him. I
Chairman,
saw
I have
it
a unanimous consent request.
Gentleman from
when
Louisiana
it
is recognized.
happened. But
Seek
I
unanimous
didn't
consent to
know
enter
who
into
it
the
was.
record a letter dated January 12, 2021 by Louisiana Attorney General Jeff
Siri
Landry,
is a
where he
liberal.
decries all political violence and calls for an end to that and asks for respect for all political viewpoints.
Without objection.
Another
so
thing
entered.
we can examine because he's not here. Very
No,
good.
you can
Thank
examine it. It's a document. He's going to
No,
enter into the
examine
record.
him for what he wrote and the intent behind what he said.
Well, I would just,
Okay.
I would
This
just
is
point
her
out
Nancy
that
Pelosi moment.
that's unanimous consents are for documents, and we got the document right
Mr.
here
Chairman,
that he handed to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous
The chair
consent.
now recognizes Ms.
Mr.
Wasserman
Chairman,
Schultz
I
for her 5
have a
minutes.
unanimous consent request, Mr.
So childish. That's how some of those hearings are. Siri's a liberal. I heard the chat GDP is a liberal. Oh, I don't know. Some of you were here. Oh, Maine. Yeah, let's read about that. I haven't. Let's see what's happening in Maine. This is pretty scary. Gary, thank you very much for the super chat. He is definitely a MAGA guy, but, oh, you said but. Thank you for the super chat, Gary. What's the but? But, all right, this story is coming up. Ex-Marine with mental problems. Okay. The body of a victim in the Maine shooting, which killed at least 18 people, has been wheeled out of a bar targeted by the gunman as cops fear he may have crossed into Massachusetts with a night scope. Survivors and bereaved family members have begun speaking out following the bloody massacre at Sheminji's Bar and Grill and Just-in-Time Recreation Bowling Alley in Lewistown, the state's second city. Police have named previously sectioned Army Reserve firearms instructor Robert Card, 40 years old, as the suspect. Card is from Bowdoin, and his car was found abandoned in Lisbon shortly after the shooting. The rampage has left 18 people dead, 13 more injured. Someone said 20, so maybe 20 is the updated number. The rampage has left at least 18 people dead and 13 more injured, meaning it's believed to be the deadliest mass shooting of 2023. The shooting is the 34th killing involving more than 4 victims in the U.S. this year. 7 of those killed in the bowling alley. 8 were found at Sheminji's Bar and Grill, and 3 others later died in the hospital. Audio from police dispatchers suggested that the suspect may have crossed the border to Massachusetts, but Massachusetts State Police have said the claim is unsubstantiated. Maine Governor Janet Mills confirmed the latest death poll, adding that Card is considered armed and dangerous. The city did not deserve this terrible assault on its citizens and its peace of mind and sense of security. Card is wanted on 8 charges of murder, as the remaining 10 victims have so far not been identified. He was taken by police for an evaluation earlier this year after military officials grew concerned with his erratic behavior. A distraught Maine counselor said he knows his son is among the dead, though authorities have yet to confirm, while the 10-year-old girl has spoken about being grazed by a stray bullet. Leroy Walker, whose son managed Sheminji's, said he is convinced his son is dead. So some of these people don't even know. It looks like they're just missing, but I'm sure you know in your gut if your child is probably not there. Kelly said Kelly heard 22. Let me see if I can get the latest. I'm seeing 18, 16, 20. Sometimes information is fuddled when when it just happened. This morning, Maine Governor Janet Mills has officially released the confirmed fatality count. At least 18 people have lost their lives, with 13 injured. After Robert Card went on a shooting rampage and started to open fire at multiple locations around 6:56 p.m. on Wednesday night. Locations were the Just-in-Time Reaction Bowling Alley. 7 people, 6 males and 1 female, were killed at the scene. Sheminji's Bar and Grill in Lewistown. 8 people, all men, were killed at that scene. I wonder if he had any connection to those places. And you know what? My mom was talking to me briefly about it earlier, and she mentioned, I don't know if any of you can confirm this. She mentioned that while people were worried about his mental state before, and that he had mentioned wanting to go and shoot people, and she was saying, I wonder why he still had his guns if people knew that he was a threat. At least 6 communities include Lewiston, Maine, are in some form of lockdown and shelter in place because he's still out there. He's considered armed and dangerous. At this time, multiple agencies have been deployed looking for Robert Card. He is considered armed and extremely dangerous. He is still at large and on the loose. That's pretty scary. I hope they get him very soon. Leroy Walker, whose son managed Sheminji's, said he is convinced his son is dead. If you had my gut right now, I feel like I'm squashed with a vice. My neck is in the back of my head, feels like there's a vice squashing it the other way. And I don't know, telling you the truth, what kind of night this is going to be from now until tomorrow when I wake up and the true facts that my son is dead. And I just know, I know he's dead. I know it well as I know I'm standing here and telling you because he's not here. And he's not at any other hospital, and he's not running around in the streets. That is so sad. Not knowing. That's horrible, not knowing that this tragedy happened. You don't have it confirmed. You obviously know somewhere inside of you, but to not have it confirmed. Yeah, Sir T, I totally agree. These are all acts of terrorism. I think whenever you're going after innocent people, Sir TDS said this is an act of terrorism, though not political. This is still terrorism. Our definition needs to be added to that definition. I totally agree. How is it not? I doubt it. He ran, so he doesn't plan on giving up. And it never mentioned that they found the weapon, so he still has it. Well, they say he's armed and dangerous, so he still has his weapon. Can you guys hear this? All right, that's cutting out. So she's essentially saying they went behind the alleys and hid where all the mechanical stuff is, like way in the back. After He came into the bowling alley. You know, that's what I do all the time now. All the time. Anytime I go to, you can call it paranoid or whatever you want. Anytime I'm in a public place, I'm always like, okay, where are the exits? If something happened, where would I hide? How would I get out of here? Something important to know too, if you're ever at a restaurant, they all have doors in the back, so you can always run. Hopefully that would never happen. You can always run and leave through the back door, through the kitchen, if you can find it. So that's something you can do too. That's really scary. Hopefully they find him soon. Give me 1 second. I'm going to plug something in. Hold 1 second. Back. No, it's not Friday. I messed up. And I can't. It's not Friday. I messed up. And I can't change it until the stream is done. So we're just going to have to suffer through it. And then when I'm finished, I can change the title. I'm scared if I try to do it right now, something bad is going to happen. So I think I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I hope they find him really quick. Let's see. I always check every second when something is happening. I'm like, is there an update? Manhunt underway for Robert Card, who killed, see, this one says at least 20 people and injured dozens in Lewistown, Maine. He is believed that many, it's believed that many of the dead and wounded are teenagers. Card is described by authorities as armed and extremely dangerous.
Maine, what's your thoughts on it? And of course, we're going to get 5 days of the communists calling to take away our guns.
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah.
John.
Yeah, a tragedy, horrible, but yeah, the predictable things will happen again. This perpetrator's name is identified as Robert Card, mental health issue. I also saw something about a member of one of the military reserve elements. So here's two key things that are always just not addressed is mental health and the intersection, because the one thing on shootings like this is mental health issues, but the left never wants to talk about this because their ideological position is mental health. We shouldn't have any restrictions, shouldn't be talked about, and again, this is in the 70s. We shut down all the mental health institutions to save money. Republicans were part of this. And we just dumped them onto the streets. That created the homeless problem in the 80s under Reagan. So the mental health issues. Also, let's talk about ghost guns, which my Substack blurb this morning was on ghost guns. What is a ghost gun? Well, it's a mailed upper and lower receiver where somebody can order the parts and make a gun. So was that a factor here? Now, the thing the Biden team leaves out when they talk about ghost guns, they always got to have they're always looking for some phrase or slang. Now it's ghost guns. They conveniently leave out that China is the preponderance of the provider of mail gun parts into America. But they leave that out. It's a huge national security.
That's what's frustrating about when these happen. I think, and clearly this guy has mental health issues, but that won't be talked about in the aftermath. Actually, hold on. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. Let's see what she says.
on this tragedy and the epidemic of gun violence in general.
See,
this is not normal. We cannot accept this. There have been literally hundreds of mass shootings in the last year alone, leaving empty seats at dinner tables across the country and leaving those who survive these heinous acts both physically and mentally scarred. And while we have made progress since the president signed the bipartisan Safer Communities Act into law, much more must be done. And the president has been clear that executive action alone is just not enough. As the vice president who oversees the newly established Office of Gun Violence and Prevention, stated during today's state luncheon, I know many of you watched very closely as well, and she said, it doesn't have to be this way. As our friends in Australia have demonstrated, again, it does not have to be this way. It's within Congress's power to pass legislation that will make our streets safer, that will make our communities safer, that will make our schools safer. The House has a new speaker who he said he's ready to get to work and to find common ground. Now is the time. Now is the time to find common ground. Let's work together to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Let's work together to enact universal background checks, require safe storage of guns, and keep guns out of the hands of criminals and dangerous individuals who have no business being armed with a weapon of war.
okay, that's really interesting. So all of the things that she suggested, universal background check, banning this or banning that, I don't know what kind of weapon he used. But she says we need to keep guns out of the hands of people that are mentally ill, people that shouldn't have them. I agree with that, but there were signs that this person was in trouble and nothing was done. That's what's frustrating about a lot of what they propose wouldn't have necessarily prevented the horrible things that happened, if that makes sense. A lot of these cases, you're looking at, okay, there are signs that this person was unstable. Either they were let out of jail too early, it was no bail, or there were signs and nothing was done about it. There was actually an issue recently at a Denver high school. It was a few months back where this kid shot a teacher. He brought a gun to school, and he had previously said he was going to do it, and there was no action taking. So he ended up bringing it to school. I don't think anyone died, but people were injured. It was the same. I don't know if you remember the little kid. I believe it was South Carolina or North Carolina. The little 6-year-old who shot his teacher in the arm. People had gone to administrators several times throughout the day. You even had one kid that was crying because they suspected he had a gun, and the administrators did nothing about it. That could have been prevented. A lot of these issues could have been prevented if things were taken seriously in the beginning. Oh, Rotten Arc says crime got worse in Australia. They buy off the black market now. That's another thing too that's really frustrating. It's all the people, like, who are going to be the people that turn their weapons in, the people that abide by the law, not the people that have things illegally. Also, what I always say is, if you close the border, then maybe I'll take your stance seriously. But how are you going to disarm Americans and then have the border wide open with who knows what coming over the border? That's just insane. No, thank you. Maybe if you were as passionate about border security, but they sit there and they say that they care about safety. No, they don't. The border is wide open. They're soft on crime. They're pro, like, defund the police. They don't care about safety. A lot of stabbings in Australia. That also happened in London. You had a lot of knife attacks, and then you even had a lot of acid attacks, which is horrible. Here, I'll lighten the mood a little bit. Here's John Fetterman. This is funny to me. I know it's Thursday. It's not Friday. I made a mistake. Thursday, hang. That makes me so happy, though. I'm glad it's not Friday yet. Okay, here's John Fetterman. Does this question make any sense? Please tell me. Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you for the super chat. How do you know how to use a firearm? And can we see Eva? I got lessons on how to shoot a few times. I'm not sorry. I keep scratching my nose. The allergies here are insane. I feel like my nose is constantly dripping. That's too much information. I apologize. Yeah, I've been to a shooting range 2 times. I would like to get better at it. There's actually a shooting range that's really close to where I live, and I know because I hear gunshots all the time. So I'm pretty sure there's a shooting range really close to me. It's funny because I don't live in the city. I live in the country, but I hear gunshots all the time. But I think that's why. And here, I'll get Eva before, oops. I'll show you Eva. Let me wake her up really quick. She can wake up before I move on to the next video. Eva, say hi to everyone. Oh, she's fine. She was actually kind of awake. Look at them. She doesn't like the camera. Sorry. Okay. She was kind of awake. She was just sitting there loafing. That's what I call her when she lays. She looks like a loaf of bread. When I did go shooting, though, it was interesting. Both times I went with a friend of mine, a girlfriend, and we both had totally different shooting styles. She was very calculated, very precise, would always hit the target. I was just bang, 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 bang. That was my style. Hers is probably much better. So I was quick and confident, but I was not precise. They sleep 90%. Yeah, she sleeps. I can't remember how often cats sleep. They sleep like an insane amount every single day. Sometimes I'm like, are you depressed? But that's just how cats are. They sleep a lot. She is a cool looking cat. She just doesn't, she'll hold me. She'll let me hold her every other time until I'm in front of a camera. Then she's like, put me down now. But she'll let me hold her any other time. She doesn't like to be on camera. Or no, actually, I don't even think it's that. I just think she likes to do the opposite of what I want her to do. Okay, here's this video of John Fetterman. And please, does this question make sense? I can't figure it out. Okay, they're talking about Bitcoin, by the way. What are you doing? Okay.
This last time I was in this very same chair, we were talking about crypto, and I asked the experts, and I said,
oh, crypto, but Bitcoin is a crypto, right? Let me start it over.
This last time I was in this very same chair, we were talking about crypto, and I asked the experts, and I said a couple questions, and they were kind of fundamental, and I just want to ask you as well, too, as experts, should crypto exist? In other words, where should it exist? Why should it endure? If anyone has any answers.
Did that make sense? Did it make sense? Should it exist? Answer the question. Yes, it should exist. Okay, well, we have an answer. Kelly says no. Oh, it didn't make sense. Sir, do you beat your children, sir? I don't have any children. Answer the question. Let the record show that so-and-so didn't answer the question. I don't have kids. Answer. He's like Biden. He never makes any sense. My question is, I know he had a stroke. I know that's a lot of his issues, but why, and this might be a dumb question, why can't he wear a suit? Is it harder for him to get dressed? Are his motor skills? I know that up here things are off, but is something wrong with his motor skills as well, that he can't wear anything other than a hoodie and basketball shorts? Hey, you need a cat like Eva or Garfield. He is lazy. Ugh. Didn't they bring back the dress code? Interesting. Oh, I don't know, for whoever was on the live yesterday, we were watching footage from the judiciary hearing where they were talking about border security, and this woman was essentially being grilled. Hold on, let me see if I can find the original video, because I did find more of her being grilled by Josh Hawley about all of the missing kids. Okay, let me get the one that we watched yesterday. It's pretty telling. Okay, here it is. All right, this is what we watched yesterday.
Marcos, can I just start with you?
So this is that Josh Hawley? I think so. Josh Hawley grilling this Biden administration official, this woman. Okay.
Ms. Marcos, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation, as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports, these stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes, they are operating heavy machinery, they are delivering meals, they are harvesting coffee, they are working construction, they are working as housekeepers, they are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid, they are not going to school, they are not cared for, they are not giving meals, almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Ugh. Okay, I found a little bit more of their interaction. Ugh. Here it is.
To children.
Okay. I don't know if you remember that. There was an original whistleblower, and then there was that article that came out that said from the children that have crossed the border, there were about 85,000 missing children that they had no account for. They didn't know where they were. And what they're supposed to be doing is releasing them to sponsors, but you don't even know, you don't know if the sponsors are their parents, and they don't keep track of them after they release them with these sponsors. I put 85,000 missing lids. If you got 85,000 missing lids, you got problems. Missing kids. So here was the story. July 2023, unaccompanied minors crossing the U.S. border each year present among the most worrying challenges in America's response to migration, with reports showing a recent rise in apprehension of children and criticism that the White House has violated providing legal protections for them. March 2023 report by Council on Foreign Relations think tank stated that more than 152 unaccompanied minors were found at the U.S.-Mexico border in the fiscal year 2022, an all-time high, separated from friends or family. As conservatives and others argue for stricter immigration policies and border control measures, the welfare of these children has formed a part of their argument. Reports earlier this year that a 17-year-old Honduran migrant had died while in U.S. custody was referenced, among others, by Representative Lauren Boebert, who accused Biden of causing death at the border. Incidents like this, at the very least, highlighted the treacherousness that children face. Some, however, argue that these stories risk becoming a tool of partisan politics. If that is true, therein lies the possibility that information and data surrounding this phenomenon could become distorted as a result. Okay, a Facebook post by a former U.S. senatorial candidate, Peggy Hubbard, posted on July 11th, 2023, 85,000 plus illegal immigrant children have gone missing, according to DHS, since Biden took office. New York Times, which is what he's referring to, reported that New York Times article published in February 2023 about migrant children working in jobs that violate labor laws. The article states that in 2022, again, this is what Howley was referring to, there were 130,000 unaccompanied minors who entered the U.S. 3 times. Okay, wait. In the article that states in 2022, there were 130,000 unaccompanied minors who entered the U.S. 3 times what it was 5 years earlier. Okay, that confused me a little bit. So 5 years, it's more than 3 times what it was 5 years earlier. That's what that is. Although unaccompanied, these minors are not children who had been stolen in the country undetected. The federal government knows they are in the United States, and the Department of Health and Human Services is responsible for ensuring sponsors will support them and protect them from trafficking and exploitation. Okay. Thank you, Wall Street Tech. I appreciate the super chat. What is it? For fizzy drinks like soda pop. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. For fizzy drinks like soda pop. Is he drunk? Are you drunk? What time is it where you are? It's not even Friday yet. Okay, so this is that same lady, a little farther into their little interaction.
If you would like us to provide comprehensive case management to children after they're released from our care, so we can report.
Respectfully, I would like you to do your job and not release children to human traffickers. Respectfully, that's what I would like. I'd like you not facilitate the largest child trafficking ring in American history.
Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, it says here that they're supposed to keep track of the kids once they're with sponsors. The Times report also included figures attributed to the Department of Health and Human Services about monitoring checks carried out on all accompanied minors who'd been homed after entering the U.S. This is where the 85,000 missing figure appears to have come from. While HHS checks on all minors by calling them a month after they begin living with these sponsors, data obtained by the Times show that over the last 2 years, the agency could not reach more than 85,000 children. Overall, the agency lost immediate contact with a third of the migrant children that came into the U.S. That's a lot. I mean, you think about it just logistically, how do you keep up with these numbers? It's humanly impossible to keep up with the numbers that are coming over the border. Which is just more proof that we probably should make the border a little bit more secure. As the article states, if an unaccompanied child is referred to HHS, more specifically, its Office of Refugee Resettlement, efforts are then made to put them in the care of a sponsor. As an HHS fact check released in 2023 confirms, as soon as our children enter ORR care, they are put in contact with their parents, guardians, or relatives, if known, in the process of finding a suitable sponsor. The vast majority of sponsors are a parent or a close family relative living in the United States. After these minors are put into the care of a sponsor, the ORR then carries out safety and well-being calls to follow up in the arrangement. Yeah. It's just the whole system doesn't seem very good. Thirsty Thursday. That's what I should have called the stream. Oh, you guys, do you remember what's his name? What's his name? Is this him? Remember the guy, Jamal Bowman, who pulled the fire alarm? Well, it looks like he's being charged finally. Hold on.
Bowman turning himself in moments ago. Fox News cameras capturing this exclusive video of the squad member surrendering. The lawmaker from New York.
He's a squad member? I didn't know that. I didn't know he was in the squad.
Is expected to plead guilty after being charged with falsely pulling the fire alarm at a congressional office building. It happened just before the House voted on a stopgap spending bill to fund the government. Last month, Bowman is set to be arraigned at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Well, well, well. Didn't he? Didn't he say he accidentally pushed it? He accidentally pulled it? I don't believe him at all. He got charged with a slap on the wrist. Wait, I think I have some. Let's see what he got charged with. What did he get charged with? Have it your way. Okay. He has been charged with willfully and knowingly given a false alarm of fire, according to court documents. What's the punishment for that? I remember when I was in middle school, we were at the skating rink and somebody pulled the fire alarm and the fire trucks came. They made all the kids at the skating rink come and sit in a big circle, and they gave us a talking to. They said they didn't know who did it. They didn't have cameras. But, well, first of all, we all had to evacuate. And then when they realized it was somebody pulled the fire alarm as a joke, all the firefighters, they made us sit down in the middle of the rink, and they said, this is a federal crime, whoever did this. And sure scared me. I never figured out who did it. His court papers say the defendant shall report to the United States Capitol headquarters in the District of Columbia. The United States Capitol Police shall perform the booking, fingerprinting, photographing, and processing of the defendant on a charge alleging a violation of the District of Columbia Code, and at the conclusion thereof, release the defendant in this matter. All right. Looks like he was maybe just booked. I wasn't a hooligan in school. I didn't pull the fire alarm. I didn't encourage anyone to pull the fire alarm. I was really good in school. I just liked to talk a lot and not pay attention in class. Wait, was he a former principal? Sarah did street racing when she was younger, Fast and Furious type. No, my dad was a race car driver. He actually built us, it was this wooden little, it was like a wooden little plane that had wheels on it. It was like a little, one of those little cars that you could ride around in, and it was wooden, and my dad put it together. But he messed up on the wheels, so it would only go sideways. And we never wanted to get it fixed because we thought it was the funniest thing. I would go to the top of this hill on our driveway, and then I would ride it all the way really down, and it would just go sideways all the way down. It would zigzag. That's what it would do. I bet you smoked in the girls' room. You would not be able to get away with that at my high school. There's no way. Oh. Yeah, that little airplane was never put back together. It was never put together correctly. Ever. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Now we have Kamala Harris. What did we just say?
It does. Gun violence has terrorized and traumatized so many of our communities in this country. And let us be clear, it does not have to be this way, as our friends in Australia have demonstrated. Gun violence.
It's interesting because it's almost like they all get the same talking points. She brought up Australia, and Karine Jean-Pierre brought up Australia. Both of them brought up Australia. Interesting. Kamala la 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 la. Giggles. More like cackles. I view a giggle as something kind of cute. I don't know if what she does is cute. I can't even read that one. Kamalia. Oh, I can't. I can't even read that one with a straight face. Just empty words and no solution. What do we know about Kamala Harris? She loves Venn diagrams. She loves electric school buses. She likes space. But also, she loves Venn diagrams. Loves them. What else do I have here? Well, there's this guy.
Excited to see that we finally have a speaker.
He gets pretty funny at the end. And she likes word salads. Yes, she is a fan of salad, particularly of the word kind. Sarah, that was a funny joke about Venn diagrams. You should repeat it. Where? The bus goes here and the bus goes there. The wheels on the bus go. Oh, I get it. Ha ha ha. The wheels on the bus. All right, this guy gets pretty funny at the end of the clip.
So as a GOP strategist, we're all very excited to see that we finally have a speaker. The conference is united, but are we united in terms of picking up where Kevin McCarthy left off when it comes to the impeachment inquiry? Will the Republicans band together? I mean, you're part of the Judiciary Committee. What's the next steps here?
Listen, you've got obviously you've got some in this administration and some on the far left that call them Mega Mike Johnson. I kind of like that. I think it has a great ring to it, quite honestly. Mega Mike Johnson. He is a true conservative. Obviously, he supports Donald Trump. Donald Trump supports him. So we need to continue to expose this administration for who they are. I support the impeachment of Joe Biden. I don't think it goes anywhere in the Senate because I've made it very, very clear. We need to make sure we don't put too much stress on him, give him his warm milk and put him to bed at night because we need him to be the nominee. I want him to be the Democrat nominee because Donald Trump is going to clean him up. He's going to wipe him out and he'll be our next president.
Give him his warm milk and put him to bed at the end of the night. Warm milk? Maybe. Warm milk. Maybe. Warm milk. Well, some people call them warmongers, so maybe they are drinking warm milk. Okay, this story, I don't know if you guys have been following, and I'll say this, I'll say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again. No matter what side of the Israel-Palestine, no matter what side you're on, I think everyone is horrified that people on any side, innocent people, whether it's in Israel or Palestine, obviously that's horrible and no one wants to see it. But it is just a new kind of people are really showing themselves, I guess you could say, especially with the kids on college campuses that are ripping down posters of hostages. And this is happening in cities, college campuses. And I believe this originally happened at Harvard. All right. Doxing trucks expand to Columbia, UPenn to expose campuses leading anti-Semites. So the nonprofit news watchdog behind the doxing truck that exposed Harvard students who allegedly blamed Israel for Hamas violent attacks has expanded its fleet to Ivy League campuses at Columbia University and University of Pennsylvania. To be clear, the truck, it's just putting the face and name. That's all the information it's putting. So technically it's not really doxing because it's not giving private information like where they live, age, where they work, stuff like that. One truck hired by Accuracy and Media featuring giant video screens on all sides displaying the words Columbia's leading anti-Semites and Gothic script over a slideshow of Ivy Leaguers, headshots and names in red block letters, as seen near the school's Manhattan campus Wednesday, according to photos shared with the Post. I'll show you some of these photos in just a minute. The display identified students allegedly involved in a horribly hateful anti-Semitic proclamation similar to the one signed at Harvard, blamed victims for their own death, rape, and torture. Accuracy and Media President Adam Gilliott said in an interview with the Post on Thursday. The group of pro-Palestinian bystanders surrounded the parked truck in an effort to block students' name, one photo shows. Other images featured the crowd holding balloons, sheets, a Palestinian flag, and open umbrellas to shield the truck's display. Some of the crowd held signs that read, "Stop doxing our students." Okay, so that's what the truck looked like. You can see they're surrounding it and attempting to cover it up. So what do you think? Do you think, is that going too far or do you think it's warranted? Oh yeah, here they are. You can see they're putting up sheets. Oh, that's easy, Kelly. It's coming from the professors. Kelly said, I don't know where people are getting all this. It's coming from the professors. We very much appreciate the effort those people made to draw attention to our truck. Said Gilead, whose truck returned to the Columbia campus Thursday. Another accuracy and media doxing truck appeared in Philadelphia this week at the UPenn campus, another Ivy League school that's faced fierce blowback after its lack of support for Israel after playing a host to a pro-Palestinian literary conference. The truck, which was again spotted Thursday, circled UPenn's campus and blasted school president Elizabeth McGill, picturing her on a red screen that said, "Condemn anti-Semitism on your campus or resign." McGill is creating an environment where hatred, racism, and anti-Semitism can flourish. Since the Literature Fest ended on September 24th, McGill issued a statement making clear that she and UPenn stand empathetically against terrorist attacks by Hamas in Israel and admitted that we should have communicated faster and more broadly where we stand. So UPenn is also one of the universities where a lot of major donors have pulled out. UPenn and Harvard, a lot of donors have pulled out. So it might have been also that caused her to make another statement. The irony here is that what she did at UPenn was hid behind the guise of freedom of speech, which I think we all agree on freedom of speech. Yet, ironically, if you look at it's the freedom of individual rights and expression. They do a college ranking every single year. And for the year 2024, UPenn was ranked one of the worst schools for freedom of speech. They were ranked very poorly. It was at the very bottom of the list. I'm not even joking. It was Harvard and then UPenn. Worse for freedom of speech. UPenn is also the school where Leah Thomas was. And we know what happened with the teammates of Leah Thomas. They were essentially silenced. They were told, if you speak out, it's going to hurt your career. And they were told to be silent. So freedom of speech apparently at UPenn is not an equal opportunity employer, and it seems to only go in one way. So, you know, if you're going to hide behind, if you're going to use freedom of speech, then it needs to be equal all the way around. And clearly it's not with a lot of other students. So here, right here, you can kind of see what the truck looks like. They're trying to, these kids are trying to block it. So you can see there are pictures. So there's that. Why does YouTube flag my comments? I don't know. I haven't seen any of your comments flagged. All right, you all. Well, I think that's everything I have for you today. Since it's only Thursday, I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes I come in early, but I always try to at least stay until 3 p.m. So I'll be back tomorrow, actual Friday, not fake Friday. Psych. It's Thursday. I will be back on the real Friday tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we can have a Friday hang, like a real Friday. Eva, do you want to say goodbye? Hold on, Eva's going to say goodbye. Here, I'm going to remove my... Okay, here she is. Oh, come on. Say goodbye. She does not want to be on camera. Oh, Eve, I'm sorry. Okay, I tried. She is not having it today. I don't want to force her. She's not having it. Okay, bye, Kelly. Bye. She has no, Eve, she's got a resting. Excuse my language. Eva has a resting bitch face. She always has. I don't know where it came from, but she just does. All right. Bye, Glenn. Bye, Neil. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Safety Truck. Bye, Miles. Bye, everyone. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya. Bye.